guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, every month I like to do a TBR video where I essentially pick out the books that I want to read in the upcoming month. So with it being at the end of July, it is time to pick out my August TBR, and usually I would just do my TBR prompt jar where I pull a prompt out of the jar and pick a book that corresponds with that prompt, but I've actually ran out of prompts and haven't had time to make a new jar yet. So I thought for the month of August we would switch it up a little bit and do a wheel spinner. So what I've done is I've gone through my entire physical TBR and I've put it onto this wheel. I have excluded my classics and a couple of holiday books that I specifically want to read around Christmas time, and then I honestly just don't feel like reading any classics right now. I feel like they will potentially put me in a slump, so I just haven't put them on here at all. But I do have a lot of good options on my wheel and on my physical TBR, so I'm definitely excited to see what I get. I'm hoping for a good mix of contemporary romance and fantasy. I don't really want to start any new series, but if I pick one that's the start of a new series, I can't really do nothing about that. But I just am in the middle of so many series that I do not feel like starting a new one, but if it happens, it happens. So we will be spinning the wheel 6 times in order to get a total of 6 books for my August TBR. So give me a second to figure out how to screen record on my MacBook so I can show you what I'm doing, and then we'll do our first spin. Okay, I got the screen going. Let's go ahead and do the first spin. I'm kind of nervous. I don't know what I'm gonna get. Hey! Okay. Okay, the first book on my August TBR is Ignite Me. This is the 3rd book of the Shatter Me series, which is a YA dystopian series. I've really been wanting to get back into this series. I feel like the last book left off in kind of a chaotic place, so I'm definitely excited to pick this one up and see how the story continues. Okay, moving on to our second spin. No! We have Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. I have been trying to read this book for years, and I don't know what it is about it, but whenever I start it, I cannot get past like the first few chapters. But I've heard so many good things about it, and I've heard it's such a good book for women to read in their 20s, so I definitely need to read it. I don't know what it is that just like makes me hesitate when I start reading it, but I definitely want to jump into it and see what it's about. We're on to our 3rd spin already. That's kind of crazy. I feel like this is way faster than the prompt jar because I don't have to like sit here and think about the prompt and like correlate it to the book. So I'm gonna do my 3rd spin. This is another book that has already been on my TBR this year and did not get read, and that's The 4 Winds by Kristen Hanna. I often hesitate going into books that I know are going to be heavy reads, and I've heard so many good things about this one. This one is set in Texas in 1921, so I'm not really the biggest fan of historical fiction, but I know Kristen Hanna has a way of making it interesting, so I definitely want to try and pick this one up in August. It also kind of just gives me fall vibes. I don't know if it's the colors or whatever, but definitely gonna try and put myself in that fall headspace when I go to pick this one up. Okay, we're already on our 4th spin. I'm hoping for some more romance, if I'm being honest. No! No! This is not going well. Even though there's clapping, I promise it's not going well. The 4th book that has been selected for my August TBR is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I believe this is a YA like dystopian fantasy. I'm honestly not too sure. All I know is that they're like trained to kill people, and I don't know if that's really up my alley or not. I think the Scythe are kind of like Grim Reapers in a sense, where like they have to go around taking lives, but if they do it wrong, like they could lose their own life. I don't know. Like I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy this one. I will give it a shot, but if I don't enjoy it, I'm not gonna lie to you, I will probably DNF it and unhaul it. So far I have 2 fantasies, a historical fiction, and a memoir, so hopefully with these last 2 spins we can get some romance. That's all I'm asking for, please, is a romance. Romance book selected for my August TBR is 99% Mine. I read The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, and it was nothing special, but it was like fun and flirty and fast-paced, so that's kind of what I'm expecting from 99% Mine. I haven't really heard much about it. It's kind of an older book talk book, but definitely excited to have some romance on my TBR and jump into another Sally Thorne book. And now for my last spin, I'm kind of hoping I get another romance, but I don't think it's gonna play out that way because as I'm looking at this list, I really don't have that many romance books on my TBR. Like, I could have sworn romance would be the most books I have on my TBR because that's what I typically read the most, but I feel like most of these are either literary fiction or fantasy, so I'm crossing my fingers that we get another romance book. I feel like August is just full of heavy reads. Not a romance. I have been really wanting to get into Frederick Bachman's writing. I don't know if this is the book that I wanted to start with necessarily, but I've heard good things about Frederick Bachman's writing. I don't know too much about this book. The back says that it captures the messy essence of being human. It's clever and affecting, as likely to make you laugh out loud as it is to make you cry. Great. As if I don't already have a Kristen Hanna book on my TBR that's gonna make me cry. The chapters are kind of short, which I absolutely love. They're only like a couple pages long. I love short chapters, so maybe that'll be what gets me through this book, but I'm hoping I enjoy it because I really do want to get into Frederick Bachman's writing. I really wanted to start with like A Man Called Ove or whatever, but this will work. So these are the 6 books that I picked off of my wheel spinner for my August TBR. I'm not too sure how I'm feeling about them. I don't know how many of these are actually going to get read in August because some of them just look like they're so hard to either get into or get through, so I'm not too sure how I feel about my August TBR. There are a couple on here that I am excited for, like the Sally Thorne book and Ignite Me, but I feel like the rest of them are going to be a little difficult for me to get through. Either way, I had so much fun doing a different version of my TBR video, and I'm going to try my best to read these 6 books in August. I don't know how many of them I will get through, but thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!